In this video, we will see an English biography action drama, a history movie named Napoleon, which had come in 2023. Let the story begin. The story starts in 1793, in the midst of the French Revolution. Youthful armed force official Napoleon Bonaparte watches Marie Antoinette, who was the last queen of France prior French Revolution, beheaded by a machine named guillotine. Sometimes thereafter, progressive pioneer Paul Brass has Napoleon deal with attack of Toulon. He effectively storms the city and repulses the English boats with ordnance. After Maximilien Robespierre is dismissed and executed towards the finish of the rule of dread, the French pioneers, including Napoleon, endeavor to re-establish strength. Again utilizing big guns, Napoleon smothers the traditionalist revolt on 13 Vendemiaire. In 1795, the 13 Vendemiaire means year in the fourth French conservative schedule is the name given to a fight between the French progressive soldiers and the traditionalist powers in the roads of Paris. Napoleon charms high-born widow Josephine, and the two in the long run wed. In spite of their energetic sexual coexistence, they have not any child. In Egypt, Napoleon wins against at the skirmish of the pyramids in 1798. However, surges home when he hears Josephine has a just about 10-year-old lover named Hippolyte Charles. The catalogue censures him for leaving his soldiers. However, he denounces them for their unfortunate administration of France and outs them in an overthrow and turns out to be the first diplomat. The overthrow of 18 Brumaire carried Napoleon Bonaparte to control as a first delegate of France. It finished the French upheaval and promoted the royal celebration of Napoleon as a head. Napoleon is delegated ruler of the French by the Pope in 1804, during which he boldly puts the crown on his own head. Talleyrand suggests to Austria to be an alliance part, but it doesn't work because the Austrians dismiss the idea. After a year, Napoleon outmatches and overcomes the Austrians and Russians at the Clash of Austerlitz, driving them to withdraw over frozen lakes prior to barricading the ice and suffocating them. A while later, he welcomed Austrian sovereign Francis II for a wine, which Russian Alexander I declines to join in, and lets Francis know that since he did not thoroughly obliterate their armed forces, he anticipated that the last option should be thankful. Despite of a strong physical intercourse between Napoleon and his wife, still they have not bear any child. After seeing this situation, that is a struggling Napoleon, because he has a great desire of a child who feels the new heir of France. As now Napoleon is a king of France, Napoleon's mother forced him to impregnate a mistress, because after doing this, it would be a proof that Josephine is infertile. He separates from her in 1810, openly slaps her when she at first will not pursue her piece of the pronouncement. However, the two stay enjoying a positive outlook and keep trading well. After this, Napoleon weds Mary Louise of Austria, who bears child one after the weds. In 1812, Napoleon attacks Russia after Alexander ranges on a truce with France. He wins regardless of ridiculous obstruction by bare Cossack powers at the skirmish of Borodino. However, finds Moscow unfilled and later set ablaze. Napoleon withdraws throughout the colder time of a year to France, having lost about a portion of 1 million men. Due to the loss of high number of men as Napoleon did, in 1814, the alliance forces Napoleon's renouncement and exile him to Elba. In 1815, after hearing that Josephine is unwell, Napoleon gets away from the island and gets back to drive in France. She has come before Napoleon comes up. Ruler Louis XIV sends the fifth ringmen to stop Napoleon. However, Napoleon successfully persuaded the armed forces and he charms them into going along with him. At the Clash of Waterloo in June, Napoleon, having amassed more soldiers, faces the British armed force under the Duke of Wellington. The French cavalry charges are fight back by British infantry squares, and a hopeless Napoleon encourages his leftover troopers forward. However, this advance is destroyed by reframed lines of opponent infantry. The powers of Prussian marshal show up to support Wellington, and the French are broken. Then Napoleon doesn't have any option because he fails to defeat the British army in the absence of Prussian marshal, and he eventually absconds from the battlefield. Napoleon is expelled again, and this time is to the island of St. Helena in the Atlantic Sea, and he is seen battering with kids, composing his journals, and that would turn into an overall success and introduce to his audience a variant of history where he is in every case right. In 1821, Napoleon passes away. The last three words that Napoleon says, it was France, army and his wife Josephine. An epilogue noticed that about 3 million individuals passed away in the alliance wars that had happened between 1792 to 1815.